Shalom, family. Shalom. Glory be to God and blessed be the Lamb. Glory be to God, the Ancient of Ancients, and blessed be the Lamb. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think I'm here? Because of happenstance, maybe? Maybe observation? It's none of those things. It's none of those things. By the way, do you believe in ghosts? If you didn't, now you do. I may or may not get back to that. But why do you think that I'm here? To observe and mind my business? I would love to mind my business. Shit, I spent decades minding my business. I ain't never been nosy. The business didn't mind me. See, I once lived in a town, but before I got to that town, I was told that this is the place that people mind their own business. Turns out, it was a lie. What you really had was a lot of people hiding from each other, trying not to mind each other's business, but in the meantime being nosy as hell and backstabbing the living shit out of each other. That's the truth. You only had to rise above it to see it. It was right there, minding their business, while they were busy gut-checking each other in the background. Anyway, not my business. Not my concern. Why do you think I'm here? Who do you think I am? Why do you think I am? And this is just a preliminary matter. Something you should think about. Who do you think I am, and why do you think I am here? You think I'm here to guide you? You've been guided. You've had 3,000 years of information, 3,000 years or more of religion, 3,000 years of belief, rather real or not. I am a character in a book. Let me repeat this. Let's answer question number 2 first. What am I? Really? I mean, another way of you looking at it, I am a character in a book that has become very much alive. Very much alive. A walking, talking character in a book. At this particular time, this character would be known as one, where do I want to start at? Because we're going by the same book. You are living in Revelation. And one part of Revelation, I am the Lamb. I am the Lamb. In another part of Revelation, I would be he who cometh with the clouds. And in another part of Revelation, I will be he who speaks or issues out of his mouth a sword, sharp on both sides. He has been issued a crown, and he has been issued a bow. That's where we are now. I am a character in a book. It's funny, I had never thought about it that way until now. An hour ago. I am a character in a book. That shit don't happen every day. That shit don't happen every day. At any rate, like I said, let's get to question one. Why am I here? I am here as part of a retrieval process. Think of it that way. We're in the middle of a retrieval process. And to retrieve means to remove. And in this case, it is to remove 1/3 of God's chosen children from the rest of the world, and God knows how many Gentiles of different races and tongues and backgrounds, which is going to far outnumber the totality of the 1/3 of Israel. Good Israel, y'all gonna be surrounded by shit. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all gonna be around. Boy, there's gonna be some diversity for real. I wonder what language you guys are gonna speak, because this is gonna get interesting. Man, but anyway, those two belong to us, plus all of the children. All of the children, every last one of them, even those little badasses, at least guaranteed up to 11. And if we push the issue up to 15, 16, and if they're really good, well, they are just recruits for God. But those belong to us too. Hear me out. Belong is the operative word. So anything that gets in the way of any of this shall be harmed. Plain and simple. I didn't come by myself. I came with 3 other people on 3 other horses. Yeah. You hadn't thought about that, huh? I had a so-called alchemist ask me back in 2022, who are you? Who am I? Here we go with that question again. How do you want me to answer this? You want me to say Jesus, which I'll never do. And I've been saying for 5 years, it is you who will tell me who I am. I would never put myself in such a compromising position to be wrong without witness. Hear me again. I would never put myself in such a compromising position to be wrong without witness. Okay? In other words, what I'm saying, if I'm wrong about this, then, and I stand on Judgment Day, I will look back at you and say, hey, listen, you got some rogue angels, and you got a lot of people who was in conspiracy with the rogue angels to convince me that I was something and is something that I was not. And by the way, Father, and by the way, may I take this further? See, it would go like that. You would be surprised how hard the angels had, in fact, I'm sorry, angels, but the angels, they failed. I had so much love and respect for the Ancient One and his son that I had refused to accept what they were trying to show me and to make me understand and to wake me up too. It was one hell of an angelic battle, I promise you. It raged at least a year. Raged. And these were brothers, and I knew they were brothers. And these are angels of the good sort. I just wasn't hearing it. You know why? Because what they were telling me, if they are wrong, I have blasphemed, and I know what happens to blasphemers of my caliber. It ain't like blasphemers of a lower caliber. No, I can safely say he's going to peel my ass like an onion, layer by layer, until I no longer exist. I won't even exist as an afterthought. He'll peel me like an onion. This is blasphemy. And so I resisted. Test after test, battle after battle, spiritual guards posted at the door. Man, I am telling you, negotiations was hard. Negotiations was tough. Okay? I say they failed because they got tired of my ass. And then something changed. Something drastic had changed. And what I faced next was not the angels. Oh, this was something much bigger and much deeper and much wider and much vaster than anything that I had experienced. Even the spiritual world has a limit. Even it has boundaries. Even hell has boundaries. And you can damn near see them. But this crap here, sorry God, I called you a miracle crap. This had no boundaries at all. It had no beginning and it had no end, and it was everywhere. It was above me, it was below me, it was to my left, and it was to my right. And it was scarlet red. So what you would think of as crimson, the real red, the original red, crimson, okay? Crimson. And it was everywhere. And I was sitting in a chair as if floating in space. Just sitting there. I was put there by the Lord Almighty because he had had enough of my crap. It started out as cute. I could have swore I heard the devil say, "This one is a toughie, ain't he? We've never seen one fight so hard. We are laughing our head. This one refuses you, and this one refuses his mission because he loves you. And out of respect, he will not do it because he don't know and refuses to accept who he is out of love and fear of you. We shall be watching this one closely. We shall be watching this one closely." And he was. At one point, he was involved, and then the next point, he just said, you know what, I don't got to do nothing. I mean, they going at it hard down there. They beating the bed, shaking the bed, beating pots and pans, knocking vases on the floor, blowing horns in an effort to wake him up, and he's just not having it. And guess what? Here's a twist. They messed up right about here. Once he realized that they may be capable of harming him into submission or to understanding what they're trying to make him understand or to accept. And what's another way of me of putting it? They can do everything else but actually harm me physically. Put it that way. They had authority to do everything else except harm me physically. And once I figured that out, it was on and popping. I doubled down. I said, I ain't doing it. Without further evidence, I understand that you're not built to lie and you can't lie, and I know that you didn't come from hell. But boo-boo, I'm sorry. No, I've tried to explain this to you. If you are wrong, we are never wrong. We are from the Lord. Listen, man, you keep saying that, and I don't doubt it. It is you who is not hearing me. I'm not saying that you're lying. I said, what if you are wrong? What if you are wrong? What if you are wrong about not only who I am, but the time that you waking my ass up? Who authorized you to do that? I need more information. I ain't got time for this shit either. We don't have time for this. Me neither. You asking me to go to hell for freaking eternity built like this. Really? Really? You know what a catch I would be down there? I can only imagine what the hell they're going to do to me down there. As opposed to what I'd already done to them. They will remember. And now here I am. Really? So, this red stuff. I said, I've told this story before, but it's not a story, it is a fact. I wasn't even in my body when a lot of these things happen. You somewhere else. And at this particular moment, I was sitting in a chair in the middle of nothing but vastness, what you would think of as space. And the red stuff was everywhere except on me. And in that spot or on that chair, I could see it. And I was definitely apprehensive about it. Something made me blink. And when I blinked, it closed in. It had jumped, and it was closer. It was closer from above, closer from below, and closer on all sides. Now, I'm a bit past apprehensive. I have no defense against this, and I can't get out of this damn chair. But shit, I can't float out. I can't metaphysical my ass out, and I definitely can't walk out. I am stuck here like glue, like I am the chair. Who did this? What manner of magic is this? And then I blinked again. And now, in man words, it is less than 10 feet on all sides. I can now see it as a ceiling and as a floor. And I understood that if I blink again, this red stuff is going to be all over me. And it was at that very moment that I said, okay, Father, I understand it's about the blood. It's about the blood. And instantly, he wasn't mad at me no more. Nigga, if you making me have to come this far ever again to deal with such a simple problem. But I do admire both your loyalty and your fealty and your love. But don't do this no more. And then everything changed. Everything changed. Anyway, man, let's get past this here. I want to talk about something else. Politics, like I said. I should just keep going with that, but I don't want to. Maybe later. And we'll talk about spooky stuff. It ain't spooky. It's a part of your new world. Ain't shit spooky about them. It's really not. They want you to think spooky. They want you to think spooky. You know what? I tell you what. I'm going to just make a whole another audio after this one here. Listen. These things have always existed. They, not all of them, or the idea of them, at the very least, have always existed. Okay? Fear is an emotion. What they don't like is the lack of fear. Like, as you seen it last night, if I would have got up and went in there where it was, it would have broke its neck getting the hell up out of there. I shit you not. It would have just ran. It would have vacated the entire area. That is what it would have done. This is why I say harmless. And they would be harmless in a way to you if when you see it, chase that bastard. Light something smoking and just start to chasing it. Open your windows and open your doors and just give it a nice, good, smoky chase. They will get the hell up out of there for obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. But the point point I'm making is this has always been. But as you can see, they've been dominated. Dominated. They wouldn't dare. It's too late for that. They had 4 or 5 summers of heavy activity, and they failed. They failed. Not only did they fail, they were counter attacked. Not only were they countered, they forced the issue that would not have otherwise happened. I went where they was. I invaded them spiritually. That changed everything. They then understood that they was up against something a little bit different. A little bit different. But that's neither here or there. It's always been spiritual warfare. Always. It just got fancy. It just got fancy. Along with the technology and the new understandings and this era in the United States in which we live, in which overwhelmingly has chose godlessness. Overwhelmingly godlessness in the face of God's bars. So you know, just by that one alone, that they dead meat. They're dead meat. This doesn't mean, no one has to do anything. They've already violated. Once they have heard God's voice and they decide that I'm going to keep doing what I am doing, then that is a choice. That is a choice. And that's the reality. And that's the new reality. For me, they have chosen, and they had all of the available information, and that choice will be respected. There's really nothing to it, as long as one chooses. One of the reasons that I came was to rob you of your ignorance. Oh, not the reasons that you would think. Oh, we don't mind you being ignorant. We actually don't. You're much more pliable, actually, when you're ignorant of some things. Much more pliant. Not compliant, but pliant, flexible, much more understanding. Your beliefs were much more, shall we say, tangible, in that you actually did believe in them. But once we arrived and showed otherwise for an entire year and maybe 2, then at that point, alongside with the fact that we robbed you of your ignorance. So think of it this way: step 1, rob you of your ignorance, forcing you to choose with the available knowledge of truth. Make you choose, either by not choosing or openly choosing. It's going to be the same thing. A non-choice is a choice. There's no way out now. And you will make this choice with all of the truth and the available data. And this is what it will be, which by makes you easier to judge. No one is going to show up on Judgment Day and say, I didn't know. No, we have already fixed that for you. Yes, you did know. And we know you know. This one wants to lie even on Judgment Day. Wow, away from me. But you knew. And the judges will know that you knew, and you made a honest and respectable choice. It was just a wrong one. So it shall be respected in a discussion, no matter what your choice is. It is like I said, we are done with the argument as to what's good, what's evil, what's wrong, what's right. We are so done with that. We are so done. At this point, you either get it or you don't. You either get it or you don't. No one has time to beat it or fight with you over it. No, if you say whatever you say is right is right. Real quick, too. Real quick. And whatever you say is wrong. That is it. Now, you may not understand how much power that gives you over one's own soul, but it is a type of power that you probably shouldn't want. You probably shouldn't even want it. You probably shouldn't want it. You would probably hope that somebody else have it, but that's not the case. My point is, you know the truth. We know you know it. In end of discussion. You know the truth. A choice is a choice. And that was the whole idea behind robbing you of your ignorance like a thief in the night. Ignorance of the belief in your respective gods. Ignorance in the belief that everything is just a choice and they have the same value. Your ignorance into believing that everything is and everything is also equal. Ignorance in your belief that no one can judge you but you. Wow. Making yourself an island unto oneself. But even that is fair. That is fair. But back to the spook. Back to the spook. I've been dealing with them all my whole life. My entire life I've been dealing with spooks. Spook over here, spook over there, spook over here. They'll fly right by my face. I'm not making it. They'll fly right by my face like, uh-oh, sorry about that. I'll just go around you. How about that? We good? All right then. Act like you didn't see me now. I gotta go. I shit you not. All day, every day. I don't even flinch anymore. I don't even flinch. Like I said, there's a different kind. That one you seen last night, harmless. It's harmless, not because it ain't devious. It's harmless because of the time that we live in right now, and so much has been revealed that it knows its place. It understands it on a different value system, you see, on a whole different value system. You've seen how it moves like a thick cloud. That's not what you usually see at all. That's different. That one's different. That one has some heft to it. Makes it a little bit older. A little bit older. A little bit more what you would think of as experience through time. But still, it was just being nosy. They want to see. They've heard. The word has spread far and wide. Things want to see, and which I didn't understand. So at first I would attack everything. If I seen it, you have to understand, this ain't no horror movie. You shouldn't be here while I'm here at the same time. Man, I wish I had so much authority when I really needed it. I didn't have it then. I wasn't even close. I could have changed and saved so much. So much. But that wasn't in the cards. The things that happened then, they would never, in their wildest of subconscious dreams, ever have ever dreamed of doing such a thing at all. It would have been devastating to half of the spiritual realm. It would have been straight slanging and banging. And when I say that, you discover things about yourself. Like I had discovered that I could throw a group of evil spirits through a hole in the sky that I created specifically for their ass to fly the hell up out of here. And many seen it. but many more seen it as a spiritual realm. Would you want to be cast through a hole in the sky? eight, 8 or 9 at a time? Because that's what happened to them. That's what happened to them. And I wasn't even at 60% of what I am now. Not even at 60%. Now, honestly, I just am. If you can kind of understand. I just am. It's sort of like the beginning of things. I just am. There need not be an explanation. Need not be an understanding. I just am. Anyway, I am a character in a book. What you make of the crown above one's head and the color of the horse and the sword issuing out of his mouth, you make of it. You make of it. We're not here to debate. We're not here to debate. Everything that I have experienced, I was meant to experience. Everything I've heard and seen, I was meant to hear and see. All of it a collection of data to do what I have to do. To do what I have to do. It really doesn't have much to do with any individuals on a personal level, except one situation about bloodlines that I really wish that they just simply had not done. No matter how much I dislike you and how much you dislike me, people, for future reference, even in war, listen to me closely, even in war, there must be rules and there must be boundaries. There must be a line in which the combatants should not cross. War is war. Men kill each other all the time. They've been doing it since Cain and Abel, and they learned how to do it by the tens of thousands, taught to them by the angels, and they've only gotten more and more efficient at it. More and more efficient at it. One blast kills more and more people. The bullets today would make the bullets of, say, 1935 and 40 and a 50 look like BB guns. Look like BB guns. That's the truth. And that's just the ones that's available to the public. You ain't even got to the military grade hardware. Yeah, they have become pretty fucking efficient at killing the living shit out of each other. That's one thing for sure. One thing for sure. Anyway, you are surrounded by these things every day, all day. Now imagine how I view the world. And then you'll have an understanding. You'll have such a better understanding of me once you understand this. I live in Halloween time for decades. Decades. And there are but, man, I'm just all over the map. I'm not really trying to educate you here. Just make a little conversation. For decades, my life started out as spirit, a consciousness. Let me explain this. It's on the second level. The first one is in what you would call heaven, or the outer spaces of heaven, in the vastness of the darkness. Like I heard someone say, the first darkness. The first darkness. That's one position. But here is another position happening simultaneously. I'm happening here also as a consciousness and as a spirit. We're not, nothing is like you think. And it's very easy to be here and there at the same time. It's, it's things like the understanding that in one realm, everything is me. Everything is me. Think about it. I just want you to picture this. Everything I see and experience is me and only me. Okay? Example. The bed that I would lie on, it would be me. The pillow underneath my head will also be me. The blanket that keeps me warm will also be me. And the atmosphere around me will also be me. Everything is me. You get it? Everything is me. Now, the Lord would not like me to give you or the devil any further description, but I do live and exist somewhere. And that is for real. He done shook my ass once a couple of years ago when he so much as thought I was finna to give up any more information that I have just given you. He shook my ass, a hard vibration, like, okay, I get it. This is war, and these niggas are slick. Be careful, son. Don't open another front. Don't open another front. That's too much detail. Space is vast. We don't have to wanna anyway. But on another level, I was born here, what you would be called born. And instantly, my life wasn't like yours. Instantly, I was having what you would think of as out-of-body experiences. And I'm talking about at age 6 or 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11. Imagine, I got to put you there. Imagine as a kid waking up, or what you call, or think he done woke up. And this is the horror show. Think he done woke up, but instead, he's looking at his own body, sleep on the damn bed, from the perspective of the ceiling. Hold up. Now keep in mind, he can't see himself. He can't see himself because there is no himself. He is a consciousness. Adding to the horror show. Okay? Adding to the horror of the whole experience. And this is the first time. Okay? Very terrifying. And I floated as if a balloon stuck to the ceiling. And I could not get down. I don't know why I was even trying to get down. And I was struggling as if I still had hands and legs. No matter how many times I looked around me and there wasn't no me there, I kept trying to escape the situation using invisible hands and legs. I look back and I laugh my ass off now. It's funny as hell. but there I went bouncing from one position on the ceiling to the next. And over time, I don't know how long it took, but I managed to learn how to maneuver in that state of existence. I was still horrified. I wanted no more part of it ever again. In fact, it would keep me freaking awake at night. I didn't want to go to sleep. And sometimes I could feel it when just as it was about to happen, and I would jump straight up in the bed. Horrified, scared to go to sleep. You have no idea, because I didn't know what was happening. I had no idea from a kid's perspective. So over time, though, it became apparent that I had more control over it than I thought I did. And as I learned how to move in that existence, which coincided it with the physical, I did not leave. I could still see very physical people around me doing very real physical things, like cooking dinner, okay? Sitting on the sofa, conversating on the phone. I could see all that. Yet here I am, interactive with it in a way that not even they see me. I say interactive because if you're in it and you can maneuver, then that's interactive. That's interactive. And strangely enough, I never tried to talk to them. I just walk right by them. Walk right by them. Well, strangely enough, I would find out later that there were other beings out there like me. Now I'm going to get back to the spooky stuff. There are and some funny stuff, and then I'm going to wrap it up. There are other beings out there. I know this because on one of these occasions of out-of-body experience, I had extended my boundaries to the end of the house, the edge of the front door, where I could look out of the front door, maybe the back door, and I could look out of the back door. And I extended them a little bit further. And this is where I got myself into trouble. Just as I went outside of the back door, and for those of you in the Acres Home area and familiar with it, it happened at 6518 Carver Road. That was a house at one point. Next door to it was an open field with a fence, and it had horses and cows in it. And on this particular night, it was foggy and cold. As I stepped in as a consciousness to the edge of the door, and Lord, I didn't know, and the Lord just let me walk right into it. Man, they trained you hard around here. I just thought about it. He let me just walk into it. He didn't even try to stop me. And neither did the angels. They were just going to let me learn this lesson the hard way and the fast way. Goodness gracious. But I get to the edge of the door, and in a conscious way, we can see. And to the left of me is this being that was bigger than I was, whatever that means. Maybe it was from a kid's perspective, or maybe it was just a sheer size of it. And it looked like a greenish, oval-shaped being on the left of me. And when I went to run, I turned to the right, and there's one standing there too. That was lesson number one, that there is something else out here like you. You are not alone in this realm. Remember that. Lesson number two. In the human realm, you cannot be touched or grabbed. In this realm, since they're made like you, they can grab you. I don't know how they do it, but they can take hold of you, and they can take you somewhere. So don't make this mistake again until you get stronger. This time, you will wrestle away, you will run away horrified, and you will never do this again. And that's what happened. I wrestled myself away from them, ran back up the hallway, jumped back in my body, sat straight up in my bed, and damn near screamed. Now, let's get to some funny stuff. Before the spiritual world understood exactly what they would do, what they were dealing with, they would do silly shit that I would literally laugh at. I mean, laugh, bellyache laugh. Okay, and it was, for lack of a better words, it was all in good spirit because I just went back to bed laughing. Now, before they understood how I was built, there literally are seven of us. Seven. I was in this house that, again, I done worked on a lot of houses. And a lot of these houses, I would have 6 to 8 month contracts. So I could literally move in the house by myself, fix up the master bedroom, fix up the master bathroom, and that's my sleep area, and the rest of the house would be my work area. These are not small houses. These houses are big, anywhere from 2,000 square feet up to 3,200 square feet. Big ass houses. So you're in this big vast ass space by yourself. I would start to make noise. I would leave a radio on 24/7. 24/7. But anyway, they had decided that they was going to do something. I'm not sure if it was a hex. Someone said that they were sent, and it was goofy. So I am asleep. They have taken a hold of my spiritual form and walking away with me, just like the just like the ones in the beginning. It was a couple on one side of me, and there was a couple on the other side of me, and they're taking me somewhere. And I wake up, and I sit on the side of the bed, both in half a physical consciousness, but at the same time spiritual too. And I simply screamed out, "Put me the fuck down!" And they dropped my ass like a hot potato. I mean, I laughed my ass off, and I laughed. They dropped me because they have to do what they're told. And plus, I think I scared them. I really think they thought they had everything, and they never looked back. So I physically screamed this, "Put me the fuck down," and they dropped me, and they were so fucking afraid that and they had 4 toes. I mean, some of the shit, I was just noticing that just made me laugh. I started saying shit like twinkle toes. They all had 4 fingers and 4 toes, or what you would think of as that, but they're in spiritual form. And they dropped my ass like a hot potato, and they stacked up in the corner, stacked up like you would stack books, because they're of equal shape and equal sizes. This is how they get your ass too. Sometimes there's multiples of them, and they've learned how to stack themselves, and it only look like one. Trust me on this. These some little mischievous boogers. And I laughed my ass off. I went back to sleep laughing. When I woke up, they were gone. They were just gone. Just things like that. And then there's the fat man. There is the fat man. I see him but rarely. Normally, he's sitting in driveways, at the edge of driveways, normally where the driveways are lined with either hedges or fences. I call him the fat man. He just sits there in the hope that no one ever sees him. He doesn't move very much, but he doesn't remain very long. It's like if you take your eyes off of him, he's gone. There are animals like that. As long as you look at them, they don't move. I think they think that you really don't see them. Okay? And they try to blend in with the shadows around them. Very hard. They try to blend in with the shadows around them. And they normally do. And then you have the midget people. I don't mean midget as in size. Well, yes, I do. I don't mean people. They often travel in groups of 3 to 5. And you will often see them, I shit you not, they are into their own shit. It's nothing for them to be spotted at the edge of woods or at the edge of forest where there is human traffic, like a railroad track that people walk up and down the railroad track. Places like that. That's where they like to hang out. Well, you will see them holding hands sometimes and dancing in a circle, hopscotch style, and singing a song. It's barely audible, but you see them, that they are dancing as they fade into the woods in a circle. All this shit is real. All of this is real. Okay? It's always been real. And I haven't even got into the reptilians or the demons. Both of them are different. Not to be misconstrued with what you've seen last night. Trust me, if I had but got up and went in there, it would have broke its neck getting the hell up out of there. Because it's not that type of party. I think the most important thing that I've said tonight, though, those realms have been dominated. And at the risk of sounding arrogant, but I must claim who I am. I have dominated them. I have taken their fucking authority from them. So they would never, ever attempt to ever cross me again. Unlike you, which you, as humans, you're much more dishonorable. Humans are much more, damn spirits. Humans are much more dishonorable. They understand defeat. Once I went in their realms, like I owned the place, showed no fear, seen demons running, that ended it. Done. Done. So we don't have any real issues with them anymore. Not even the demons. It's just not worth it for them. It's not worth it. Nobody wants, anyway, nobody in words like nobody do not apply. With that, enjoy the rest of your day, or your night, or your evening. I am Source. I am Seven. I am One. And all of this comes with Israel. This is why, for future reference, slave masters and future colonialists, you may want to be careful as to what people you bring into your midst. You never know what's truly traveling with them. I am Source, I am Seven, I am One.